Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel, where the Dolphins have picked up their second straight loss to the Seattle Seahawks. 24-3 is your final. And man, what a disgusting game. What an embarrassing game it was. And overall performance from the entire offense, the coaching staff, special teams, penalties, you name it. The list goes on and on and on, man. The Dolphins picking up yet another loss. And this I'm at a point where I am stressed the hell out. I am trying to picture where should the Dolphins go from here? What adjustments need to be made? How do we salvage this season? I don't even think Tyler Huntley can get the job done. I mean, you're going to be asking a lot for Tyler Huntley to come in here and be the savior and just to salvage this season, because I just think there's so many alarming things here, from play calling, from lack of running, from just so many, from penalties, injuries. Man, you saw Kendall Fuller go down with a concussion. You saw Teron Armstead leave the game with an eye injury. You saw David Long leave the game with a hamstring injury. Austin Jackson as well. List goes on and on, man. On top of injuries that you're already dealing with guys like Odell Beckham, obviously, who hasn't played yet. Bradley Chubb as well. Your quarterback is on IR in Tua Tagovailoa, and let alone once he's done with IR, which is in week 7, you don't even know if he's going to play in that game in week 7. You don't even know if he's going to play in week 8. That's something that you're going to reevaluate down the line. So it's brutal, man. Skylar Thompson obviously got the start. Mike McDaniel had trust in the guy, and he was a disappointment, man, to say the least. There was not one bright spot that I saw that I can take away and say, damn, Skylar, you did this well. I mean, the dude looked like he could not settle in. He couldn't even keep his hands on the ball. I mean, he was fumbling. Obviously, we were recovering the ball, but everything was like check down central, man. I mean, there was like 10 dump offs were his completions today. And it made me think, it's like, if you're going to be dumping it off for 2 yards, Mike McDaniel, why not just run the ball? Jalen Wright, a guy that opened up the game with a beautiful, beautiful run on a horse collar that got missed, and they should have called that game, which I thought was huge. That led to Jason Sanders missing a field goal. But Jalen Wright, I mean, a guy who started the game and looked explosive, 2 carries for 17 yards, and he stayed with 2 carries for 17 yards. I don't get it. I mean, there was a lot of questionable decisions from Mike McDaniel. There was a lot of bad things that you could put this loss on. You can put it on penalties. I think it's an overall team loss. It's an embarrassment. I mean, you're putting up 3 points to the Seattle Seahawks, who are not even a good football team. Now, granted, the Seahawks are 3-0 now, and you might think of it and think they're a good football team, but this is a team that struggled to beat the New England Patriots. This is a team that put off, I mean, in the first half against Denver, week 1 was shaky. This is a team that you got to turn the ball over twice on Sunday, today. They're a team that could be beat. And we made them look like they are this force that is tough to beat. And it's embarrassing. Let's look at the stats, man. These are the first half stats, by the way. Things that alarm me, man. So obviously the Dolphins are on the left side of your screen here. Third down efficiency in the first half, 0 for 6. I mean, you are not going to win games when you cannot even convert on third down. Granted, the Seahawks were 1 for 6, but this goes to tell you the Seahawks are not that good of a football team. Look at the passing yards. Again, Miami's on the left side of the screen. 49 passing yards. Yards per pass, 2.5. Like I mentioned, all dump offs. Skylar got sacked 4 times. Rushing was at 38 and only 8 rushing attempts as opposed to 16 passing attempts. And look at our yards per rush. 4.8 yards a carry. And Mike McDaniel, he don't like doing that. I don't understand, but he just doesn't. Red zone opportunities. You got to capitalize in the red zone. 0 for 1. And then the penalties, which are very, very alarming. 7 penalties that gave up 50 yards in the first half. And the stats for the players reads as this. Devon Achane with 5 carries for 21 yards, averaging 4.2 at the half. Jalen Wright, like I mentioned earlier, 2 carries for 17 yards. Why is he only at 2 carries for 17 yards? I don't understand some of the things that Mike McDaniel does here. I mean, Devon Achane also catching out of the backfield, 2 receptions for 23 yards. Jalen Waddle, 3 receptions, 23 yards. And then Tyreek Hill, your best receiver, with 1 catch and 17 yards on 3 targets. Your best player, Tyreek Hill, with 3 targets. All right. That's bad. Like, that's bad. That is very, very, very bad. And it makes me think about a lot of the people that hate on Tua and a lot of people that say, oh, Tua's only good because of Tyreek Hill. Tua's a Tyreek Hill merchant. You know, he's doing this because of Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill. Anybody could get Tyreek. Look at this. Look at this. Tyreek Hill with 1 catch and 17 yards in the first half against the Seattle Seahawks defense. It's not even like that. And that's with Skylar Thompson. All right. Who plenty people like. And the same thing happened in the second half when he had Tim Boyle. 2 different set of quarterbacks that couldn't even give Tyreek the ball. Listen, it's just embarrassing. You want to know what else is embarrassing? That after reading off those stats, you see how poor the Dolphins played in the first half. You see how poor I said Skylar Thompson played. And this is Skylar's reaction. I mean, this is not a fake picture, guys. I mean, this is not a fake picture. I mean, he's smiling over here. You see the score right on the picture, 17-3. I mean, no touchdown scored. You're out here getting your ass kicked. You know, even though it's 17-3, you're getting your ass kicked. Like, they're manhandling you. Like, their physicality is up here where the Dolphins are down here. And that's your reaction. To me, that's just a bad vibe. It's like, what are you here? Just collecting a paycheck? While fans like us are over here stressing out. Fans are out there buying tickets, buying flights to go to these games. And this is the performance you see. It's embarrassing. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. And that's in the first half. And let's read off the second half, because the second half didn't get better. I mean, the defense got better. Obviously, you know, they held the Seahawks to almost 0 points, giving up a late touchdown at the end. But for the most part, defense got a turnover in the second half, and they held them scoreless in the third quarter, giving the Dolphins opportunity to come closer and capitalize. And every time the Dolphins got closer, they turned it over on downs. Their offense couldn't get the ball moving. Skylar Thompson ended up getting hurt. Tim Boyle comes in, same result as you've seen, just dump offs and just no production offensively. And the Dolphins just continued that recipe, man. So the Dolphins are on the left side of the screen, like I mentioned earlier. They finished this game 140 passing yards to Seattle's 270. Seattle finished with more rushing yards, 102 to Miami's 65. Red zone opportunities for the Dolphins, 0 for 2. And penalties for the Miami Dolphins, 11 penalties. Third down efficiency, like I mentioned earlier, they finished 1 for 12. You only converted on third down 1 time. And on fourth down, 0 for 3. So on third and fourth down combined, 1 for 15. Player stats read off as this. Devon Achane finished with 11 carries for 30 yards. Jalen Wright, like I mentioned, ends up with the same stat line, 2 for 17. Tyreek Hill, 3 catches is what he ends up with. So he gets 2 extra catches in the second half, finishes with 40 yards on 5 targets. Jalen Waddle had 1 more catch in the second half. He finished with 4 for 26. Talk about embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that you go out there to Seattle and you can't even put a touchdown on the board. 3 points. Something's got to give. And I think the Miami Dolphins are in trouble. And I'm a guy that doesn't like to say that so early on, but it's in trouble. I think they're in trouble, man. I mean, this offense was brutal to watch without Tua. And you can't tell me that you got guys like Jalen Waddle, Achane, Tyreek Hill, and you could put up 3 points. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. And the same situation, it's nothing new. I mean, the Dolphins knew that Tua has concussion history. We all know this. The fans know it. They got to know it. We had chances to upgrade our quarterback in the offseason. We had chances to go get people. But what did we do? We wanted to keep Skylar as our backup. Mike McDaniel wanted to keep Skylar. Chris Greer wanted to keep Skylar. So then at that point, if you're saying that he is capable of being the number 2 quarterback, your number 2 quarterback cannot be doing the things that are on display. I mean, it's embarrassing. He is not a real number 2 quarterback. That dude is a third stringer or a practice squad guy. And I mentioned this on a couple videos in the offseason. I'm going to be hard on Skyler because I think being a quarterback 2 behind Tua Tagovailoa, like, you have to be at least a competent quarterback, and that is not what Skyler Thompson is, and he showed that today. Obviously dealing with an injury now. We don't know his status, but even when he's playing, I mean, he's doing stuff like this, smiling. Come on, man. Like, come on. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Nah. That ain't for me. That rubs me the wrong way. And I quickly turn on people like that because that's just not cool. It's not a good look. It's not cool. Tyler Huntley obviously was the emergency quarterback. He did get signed. I do like Tyler Huntley, but I don't know if he changes things dramatically. I do think he's better than Skyler, though. I do think he's better than Tim Boyle. I do think he deserves a shot, but I think the Dolphins might need to look elsewhere. I think you're putting a lot of pressure on Huntley to kind of learn the playbook last minute here. This is something that the Dolphins could have done in the offseason. Obviously, it would have been by trade, which is different now, but, you're going to ask for Tyler Huntley to learn this playbook and salvage the season. I think it's a tough task. So I think the Dolphins need to understand and learn that this was an embarrassing moment, embarrassing game, and the Dolphins need to look to upgrade. They need to upgrade somewhere else because this season you can sink. You can sink fast, and you guys all know watching this how hard it is when you're down and you have to climb up in the NFL. This is not like the NBA. This is not like the MLB. Things get different in the NFL. Like, week to week, things matter big time. All right, and you have a fairly easy schedule coming up. You got Tennessee on Monday. They're just as bad as you. They're 0-3. Their quarterback is not that good either. Their defense can't stop a nosebleed. You're at home. What are you going to do? Huntley's got to be ready. But if not, the Dolphins need to look elsewhere. Like, I know I spoke about Brady last time. I don't think that's going to happen, especially with Tua not planning to retire. So if you're not going to have Brady for a full season, which obviously that seems to be out the window, then it's time to probably revisit what the other option is, which a lot of fans want. That's Ryan Tannehill. To be honest, I think Ryan Tannehill can get the job done and can make you at least, keep you afloat, especially after what I saw from both of these other quarterbacks. I don't know if Huntley can give me everything we need, man, because those problems are alarming. All right. And think about it this way. Can the Dolphins beat Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill? The answer is yes. Can the Dolphins beat Tennessee with Skylar Thompson? They should. See, the fact that I'm saying they should is alarming to me. Next game. Can the Dolphins beat the Patriots with Ryan Tannehill? I say yes. Can they beat them with Skylar Thompson? You see how I have to think? This is a problem. And things can go down real fast. The Dolphins have a problem in their hands, and I think they need to situate it ASAP. But that is a story for another day. Guys, please let me know what you guys think on the comment box. Let me know how you're feeling after this Dolphins loss. 24-3 is your final score in Seattle. Dolphins falling to now 1-2 in the regular season. Can easily be 0-3, which is crazy to say. But we have problems, and the Dolphins need to make some moves. They need to make some changes because I'm sure the fan base is at an all-time low because I feel at an all-time low. But live stream on Tuesday, be sure to check it out right here on this YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't. Let me know what you guys think, like I mentioned in the comment box. And on to next week. Dolphins play Monday night at home against the Tennessee Titans. We'll dive into that preview on the live stream. But for now, Dolphins got to figure it out. Dolphin fans, stay up. All right. I'm right here with you. Fins up, everybody.